Rodham, the ambitious cardinal, gathers his holy generals aboard the fleet to prepare for an invasion. Fueled by religious fervor and the promise of conquest in the name of Adonis, he distributes the rings of Andorus, artifacts said to bestow immense power upon their wearers. The fleet finally reaches the coast. Rodham instructs his troops on the deployment of legions, basic troops, and auxiliaries, confident that their superior numbers and divine artifacts will make the conquest of Tariq swift and easy. The Adonis warriors begin their advance, marching over icy slopes that test their balance and resolve. Mikkel, a seasoned warrior, feels a strange sense of unease as the city remains eerily quiet, despite the presence of enemy defenses nearby. The army reaches the midway point of the slope. They notice red cloths covering structures on the hill, which the locals claim are ancestral monuments. Unbeknownst to Rodham, these masks hide the true danger waiting for them. Despite the mounting fear and the lack of resistance, the Adonis army continues its march. The soldiers are crowded together, convinced that their divine protection and superior numbers will carry them to an inevitable victory. Suddenly, resistance appears. A small group of archers stands at the top of the slope. The invaders scoff, believing their shield wall will easily deflect the incoming fire, but the enemy's expressions are strangely calm. The command echoes out, "Fire!" The hidden siege engines are revealed, launching a barrage of heavy stones and oversized arrows into the ranks of the Adonis army, instantly shattering their formation. Panic erupts as the Adonis soldiers realize they are not facing giants, but ingenious weapons of war. Flaming boulders and massive arrows rain down, turning the march into a desperate fight for survival. The icy slope becomes a slaughterhouse. Soldiers scramble to dodge, but the close-packed formation only leads to more deaths as they trip over each other, becoming human bowling pins for the falling rocks. Chaos engulfs the docks. The massive stones gain momentum, slamming into the ships and shattering the wooden hulls. Rodham watches his treasures and resources sink, his dreams of conquest turning into a nightmare. The holy Thamans attempt to invoke divine power to stop the onslaught, but their faith is tested and shattered. The rocks remain unyielding, crushing both priest and soldier alike. Captain Pritchard, leading the defense, remains calm. He orders the burning of the siege weapons once their ammunition is exhausted, ensuring the enemy cannot reverse engineer their technology. The defense transitions to the next phase. Backup teams take over, reloading the catapults with precision, maintaining the unrelenting pressure on the invading forces below. Mikkel fights to stay alive, maneuvering with the desperation of a cornered animal. He leads his remaining men toward the city, convinced that passing this gauntlet will finally bring them to the leveling ground they need. With the stones no longer raining down, the remnants of the Adonis army make their final charge. They believe they have survived the worst, unaware that the defenders have prepared a new trap. The final deception is unveiled. Concealed ramps are pushed forward, revealing the true scale of the defensive trap. The invaders find themselves surrounded, with no escape from the arrows raining from the woods. The battle concludes as the Adonis army is decisively crushed. The invaders, once confident of victory, now face total defeat, their numbers decimated by the ingenious strategy and lethal coordination of the Tariqan defense. Rodham, once a powerful cardinal, now sits in chains in a cold, damp cell. He rages at the thought of his reputation and power being stripped away, failing to realize the total collapse of his invasion. The city rejoices. The bells that once signaled warning now signal victory. The people go about their lives, inspired by the strength of their soldiers and the resilience of their home. The aftermath of the siege is a scene of grim efficiency. Soldiers scour the battlefield to recover gear and intelligence, turning the site of their trial into a source of valuable study and future improvement. In the town of Cinder, the future looks bright. Young Toji, a student with dreams of becoming a pharmacist, enjoys a meal with his parents, marking the beginning of a new chapter of peace and progress. Toji heads to his first part-time job at the post office. Despite minor blunders, his heart is full of gratitude for the development brought by the new rule, fueling his desire to contribute to the city's growth. While the new regions bloom in peace, darker winds blow through the aristocratic halls of Vaynira. News of Landon Barn's death and the fall of the powerful Ranker Knopline ripples through the underworld. The news of Knopline's death hits the local power brokers hard. Knopline held power and influence, and his demise signals a dangerous shift. A vengeful force is said to be on the move, threatening to tear apart their carefully laid plans. Back in the Arcadina region, hidden actors are in motion. A group of mysterious visitors, supported by the new administration, departs from a small village, heading toward a new confrontation with Baron Kane. Death, a man of shadows, prepares for his final move against Baron Kane. He meets with the reinforcements, coordinating a lethal strike that will determine the fate of the Western territories. The plan is forged. They will strike at night, using advanced technology to eliminate Kane's hidden enforcers. The atmosphere is heavy with the promise of conflict as they finalize their strategy for the night ahead. With the strategy set and their positions held, the men rest. They wait for the cover of night to execute their operation, every detail meticulously planned for the decisive skirmish. As the night reaches its deepest hour, the convoy rolls out. The decisive battle for Profuse City begins, with the outcome hanging in the balance of the coming night's shadows.